I'm going to give you a little brief description about myself. I'm 48 years old now, and I'm finally getting ready to tell you a story. But I'm not going to give you all the details all at one time because I want you to buy the book, see the movie, and we'll go from there. I'm going to start off with this. My name is Christopher Wood. I was born in 1963, and it all starts back when I first moved to this town back when I was a little child, when I was conceived, back in the 1960s in a little town called Beaconsfield. It was named after a couple that were from the 1800s. Their names were the Beckons. The field later on came down the line from the fields, from the occurrences and things that happened in the fields. But anyway, I was blessed with a vision that not many of us get in life. But it had to happen with the circumstance that was out of my control. I loved sports. I loved motorcycles. I loved horses. I loved playing football. So I decided to try out for football. And of course, it was at Beaconsfield High School. Well, when I first tried out for football, I seemed to do very well. So one day I was playing a game at the time, and I got seriously hurt. I flew about 5, 6 feet in the air and landed down on my back. I didn't think I was going to be able to get up, but when I did, I started seeing all these people walking around. But they weren't like of today. They were like people that were dressed different and different clothes and whatnot, and I didn't know how to explain it. And from then on, I started seeing these visions. The lake wasn't too far from there, and that's where I really started seeing the visions. Because it was like a big mirror to me. I'd see these visions on this lake, and I'd see things that just would blow your mind. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get too much into detail, but I actually would see events that were happening of the future. I'd actually see people that were lost and trying to find their way, trying to find their loved ones, people that had been murdered and hurt. And every time that I'd walk around the town, I would notice, I'd see somebody and I'd get this vision in my head. It was like a big movie projector. I didn't know what to do with it. So anyway, I started writing it down. Next thing I know, I said, I got to do something about this. Well, I'd already had a part-time job at the print shop that was local in town, in Beaconsfield, which was next to the hardware store in the old movie theater. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, I told my editor and my boss, and at first they thought I was nuts. They thought I was crazy. I told them, well, I've been writing this all down, and I'm going to write a book about this. I'd like for you to, if you could, write something in the newspaper a little bit about it and see if maybe there's some other people that have experienced the same thing that I have. Because I noticed here lately people have been acting kind of strange. So anyway, I don't know if it's because of the current events going around and whatnot, but anyway, I decided to finish writing this book. And I always had a favorite tree that I sat up under or laid down under up by the lake where I could collect my thoughts. And then finally, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it's like all these people started walking around me. And it was like they wanted to know more. Or it was like they knew something I didn't. So anyway, next thing I know, the whole town is swarming with people. And it was just like they were coming to me for answers. And it's like, I didn't know what to do. We were just such a small town, and all of a sudden it got big. So finally, we decided to sit down and talk to other people that experienced some of the same things. And of course, I wasn't the only one, apparently, that was having these visions or seeing things. So the next thing happened was they decided to publish my book. So people started reading it. Next thing you know, I got people coming to me wanting to do a movie about it. So finally, all the stuff started coming into play. I got a chance to actually tell the story of what had happened to me and what occurred and what happened out of it. There's some bad things in this, and there's some good things, and there's some scary things. But if I haven't lost you, pick up my book at the bookstore or go see the movie. You won't be disappointed, trust me. You will love the movie because it explains it all in